BookTube, welcome back. I'm Winx, and the ink I'm talking about today is a book haul. These are all of the books that I bought in June and July. I think I'm done buying books for July. I'm going to try and tell myself that anyway, but these are the books that I got so far. So I did a few shopping sprees over the last couple months. When my family came in to visit a few weeks ago, we of course had to take a trip over to Powell's Books. So on that trip I bought a few items, so I will start with that. Also, a lot of these books got on my list because of various booktubers, so obviously I am 100% blaming them for the purchases, and it is not in any way my fault. So first up to blame is Frankie from Frankie Reads, who I saw talking about this book, and of course then I had to buy it, and that is Malice by John Gwynne. And this is the first book in the Faith and the Fallen, I think that's the name, Faithful and the Fallen series. So this sounds like it's going to be a pretty epic fantasy book. It's a pretty big book, as you can see, and I also really like the cover. It's just got this cool sword and script and like black and white with red. Yeah, I really like that. It kind of reminds me of the cover of The Dragon's Blade by Michael Miller, which I read last month, I believe. But yeah, I also really like that cover, so that was exciting. The next book, I swear I've heard about this one somewhere, and I can't remember who it was that told me about it, but I also really like the cover of this one, and it is Infomocracy by Malka Older. I'm not exactly sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but very cool cover. And yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, this is sort of a cyberpunk thriller sort of book, so I'm very excited to check that out. Then the final book that I got at Powell's was also a total cover buy. I mean, I'm obviously sort of into the content, but I really don't know anything about this particular book, and that is Moriarty by Anthony Horowitz. Moriarty in this case is Professor Moriarty from the Sherlock Holmes universe, and this is in fact a Sherlock Holmes pastiche, so I am very excited to read it because I am a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes. I've got a couple Sherlock Holmes related books on my to-read pile now, and I've actually been wanting to reread some of the original Sherlock Holmes stories because it's been a while since I did that. So I'm thinking I might just have like a Sherlockian reading month sometime soon and then hopefully get this one read. But yeah, just really also love the cover. It's so pretty, and it has this flap that opens up, and it might be a little hard to see, but there's these teeny tiny little Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty here, and they're falling down Reichenbach Falls, like from the original stories. So I think this actually is supposed to take place just after they disappear over the falls. So yeah, very curious to check this out, and even if it's terrible, I am excited to have it on my shelf because it's so very pretty. Then I actually had another little shopping spree just over the weekend at the bookstore where I volunteer. I've mentioned in a few of my videos how I do this volunteer shift now and again, and how I end up spending a lot of money because I am there at the bookstore with all the books, just me and the books, and it's very tempting. But so this was actually my last shift. I had too much going on my plate between my actual job and my channel and the subscription box, and so this was just a bit too much, and so for a while I'm going to step back and not do my shifts. But since it was my last shift, I obviously had to stock up on all of the books. So first I got The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson, and I've now heard a few people talking about this book in particular, but I first heard about Maggie Nelson through Jessie, who I believe was reading the red parts. And yeah, it sounded like something that I would definitely be interested in, so I decided to pick that one up, and it's a pretty slim book, so should be a fast read. Then I picked up Americanah, and this one I 100% blame on Lauren from Lauren in the Books, because she has talked about this one. I believe it was like her #1 read from last year or something like that, and so she's spoken really highly of this one, and I've never read it, so I realized that I need to, and I really like this cover, which happened to be the cover that they had at the bookstore, so it just made sense to pick it up. So hopefully I will get to that one sometime soon. And the last book that I got at the bookstore is Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Reed. And Patricia C. Reed is also one of the authors of The Enchanted Chocolate Pot, which I read a few months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, something like that. But I really enjoyed that one. It was a Regency era Fantasy of Manners book. Very cute, very fun, and this one seems like it's sort of a middle grade novel. It says it's book 1 of the Enchanted Forest Chronicles, so this will be a fun little read whenever I'm feeling in the mood for something like this, and dragons is clearly always a win for me, so I will try that one out eventually as well. Then of course there are a few books that I've just sort of picked up here and there over the last couple months. The only other physical book that I've gotten is the Geek, Feminist Revolution by Cameron Hurley. And this book sounds amazing. Just the title alone sounds like something that I need to read. But I've also heard several people talking about it on BookTube, and it just seems like a really powerful book that is really hitting the feels with a lot of people. So I am very excited to read this one. I really should have read it already. I've had this one for a few weeks now, and it's just like I clearly need to read this one a lot. So soon. Then the rest of the books that I picked up are all digital reads, and the first of which is one I've actually already read and talked about, but that is Penrick and the Shaman by Lois McMaster Bujold, which is a novella and a sequel novella to Penrick's Demon, which I read last year. And yeah, so I really enjoyed that one. Then I also got a Kindle bind-up for the Liveship Traders trilogy, which I am currently reading for the Hobb along. And I'm reading the Ship of Magic, and I am really enjoying it. And I have the whole trilogy in these really pretty copies, but since they're pretty big books, they're a little bit more cumbersome to take with me on my commute. And since I'm so fond of these covers, and I had to order them through the Book Depository because they're UK editions, I didn't quite feel like I was willing to take them in for a book bath, so I just decided to give in and also get a Kindle copy so I can just do all the things and not risk damaging these ever so pretty versions. So I also got that. Then I was sent one Kindle book in exchange for a review, and that one I'm very excited about. It is a post-apocalyptic fantasy novel called Children of the Different by S.C. Flynn. So hopefully I will get to that one pretty soon. I'm thinking maybe next month, and then be able to do a review video for that. And finally, I got a few audiobooks. So one of these I actually got a while ago, like not just within the last 2 months, and I don't think I ever mentioned it, but it was Aristotle and Dante Discover the Universe. I always feel like I'm going to get that wrong, but I think I got it right. So yes, that one. I was specifically recommended that one as an audiobook and picked it up a while ago and then kind of forgot about it. Then I also recently got the Audible version of The Night Circus, and I have The Night Circus in physical copy, but I was specifically recommended the audio version, and then like the day after I got that recommendation I saw a tweet saying that The Night Circus was on sale on Audible, so I just went ahead and picked it up. It was only like $3 or $4, something like that. Super cheap. So I have those ones ready to go. Then I also picked up The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman on Audible because I was also recommended to read that, and clearly I'm just gonna have to go on a audiobook marathon pretty soon here. I was just saying how I really want to get back into cross-stitching because I made a video a while back talking about cross-stitching and doing it specifically while listening to an audiobook, and I basically have not done that since I made that video, and I need to get back to doing that because that is a fun thing. So I'm thinking once I get the summer round of boxes sent out for a book bath box, I will use some of my free time to just listen to audiobooks and do some cross stitching. So hopefully I will get those lined up soon. But yeah, that is my book haul from the last couple months. I feel pretty good about it. Like, got a good variety of things, but didn't go too far overboard like I have in some months. Alright, so let me know in the comments if you guys have read any of the books that I mentioned here and what you thought about them, or if you have done any hauls recently and have any books that you're super excited about, or based on these books that I bought, if you have any suggestions for books that I should also pick up, let me know. All down there. Alright, thanks guys for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I hope everybody's week is getting off to a good start, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!